The day the test confirmed my pregnancy, I ran straight into my husband accompanying his first love to her prenatal checkup. "I've got something tonight. I won't be home," Adrien said flatly, steering Ivy away. I hesitated for a second, then booked an abortion. Everyone thinks I'm Adrien's lapdog. No matter how cold or cruel he is, I'll never leave. He thinks so too. What they don't know is that I'm only repaying a debt. Today, the 10-year promise expires. I can finally end this grotesque marriage. 4 weeks pregnant, congratulations. My period was a week late. A routine visit, and the doctor told me I was a month along. The baby was a complete surprise. I walked out of her office, stood in the corridor, hand on my belly, wondering what to do. My constitution is fragile. If I terminate, I might never conceive again. Suddenly the hallway buzzed. Wow, that's Ivy and her boyfriend, right? Perfect match. She never misses an appointment. He's always with her. So in love. With parents that gorgeous, imagine how beautiful the baby will be. I glanced over without thinking and spotted Adrien and Ivy immediately. She's been parading him as her off-screen lover for almost 7 years. The world believes they're a couple. Last Valentine's Day, the three of us had dinner and got papped. Netizens branded me a scheming homewrecker. Little do they know I'm Adrien's wife. I turned to leave before the humiliation got worse. Ivy called after me. "Serena, what are you doing here? Surely you're not tailing Adrien and me." Bless her. I was wrapped up like a mummy, invisible to the paparazzi but not to her. Before I could answer, Adrien frowned and passed sentence. "Just this once, never again." Hearing the word stalking, people stared as if I were the other woman. It wasn't my first time in this spotlight, yet every time it choked me. Adrien made no move to defend me. He escorted Ivy to the blood draw room. Of course, why would he admit I'm his wife and risk his muse being scolded? Absurdly, a moment ago I'd actually considered keeping the baby. What redeeming genes could a man this cold provide? If the child turned out like its father, I'd be gaslighted for life. I registered for an abortion on the spot and phoned my lawyer on the way home. Draft the divorce settlement and get it over here. But we still lack solid proof of Mr. Sterling's adultery. If we could obtain Ivy's amniocentesis and establish paternity, you'd get a far bigger share. I agreed it was a pity. Forget it, half is enough. Every extra day in this marriage where I played perpetual turtle is torture. I'd rather take less money and breathe free. I felt ill and hurried home to rest. Yet I'd barely walked in when Adrien burst in. Normally he's ice cool, unruffled by anything. Now he was running, eyes bloodshot. He seized my wrist. I saw the trending feed. His grip hurt. I pulled free. So what? I hadn't checked. Probably another ivy-planted headline gushing over Adrien's devotion and slamming me for throwing myself at him. Her fans have branded me mistress. So often I've lost count. Adrien was shaking, each word scraped from his throat. The feed says you went to the hospital for an abortion? So that was the trending he meant. I didn't see why he was furious. Yes. He swallowed a shout. You were upset about the awards. I get it. But you don't punish me with a child. That lit my own anger. 8 years in the industry, 5 Best Actress nominations. At last the prize was mine, until he handed it to Ivy. Her followers roasted me as a clown, the perennial runner-up. I'm not throwing a tantrum. We're divorcing, so there's no point keeping it. I've asked counsel to bring the papers tomorrow. Please sign. Adrien's patience, thin at the best of times, snapped. It's only a trophy. Next year you'll get one. Everything else can wait until you calm down. Even faced with abortion and divorce, he offered no apology, only spun his car key and left, as always. No matter how deep the wound, he dumps me to lick it alone, certain I'll crawl back. This time I won't. My parents died young. My sister and I survived together. When Celia's kidneys failed, Eleanor paid for her transplant and my tuition. Out of gratitude, I agreed to watch over Adrien at school, to comfort him after his breakup, to marry him. Eleanor said if, after 10 years, I still felt nothing, she'd set me free. The deadline is here. Next morning, the lawyer delivered the agreement. I called Adrien, no answer. I messaged him the PDF. Check it. If it's fine, come home and sign. A red exclamation mark. He'd deleted me again. His rule. However wrong he is, I must coax him back. He's used to being my son. Thank heaven I can divorce the man and stop pampering him, I muttered. For 3 days Adrien stayed away, cruising malls and red carpet galas with Ivy, headlining the trending feed. Gossip says wedding bells are near. On the 4th day I lost patience and crashed his birthday party. He'd invited only his and Ivy's friends to a villa he owns. The moment I stepped through the door, every eye snapped toward me. Ivy giggled first. Couldn't sit still anymore? The rest of the crowd joined in, mocking. Ivy says Serena's using the divorce threat to squeeze a few good roles out of Adrien, but he hasn't even blinked. Lee's not falling for it. She's terrified he'll actually sign, so she's chasing him here to grovel. Adrien only ever wanted Ivy. Serena clung to him, milked some family pressure, and lucked into the Vance name. If I were her, I'd keep my head down instead of staging daily meltdowns. Ivy's friends were bound to take her side, and Adrien's friends took their cue from him. They all treat me like a joke. I don't waste breath. I just ask, "Where's Adrien? Who let you in?" His voice reaches me, cold and hard. In seconds he's beside Ivy. Someone whistles. The whole room waits for my humiliation. I ignore them and speak to him. We need to talk. He's CEO of Sterling. A scandal tanks the share price. I'm a major stockholder, and I'd rather not air our filthy laundry in public. Adrien won't grant me that dignity. Say it right here. If you're having second thoughts about the divorce, spare me. I'll agree to stay married. But this is the last time I indulge your tantrums. When someone slaps away your olive branch, you stop offering it. Regret isn't in my vocabulary. I pull the fresh divorce settlement from my bag and hold it out. Sign. He doesn't take it. He just stares, face darkening. So you can make new trouble during the cooling-off period? Serena, I'm not playing house with you. His arrogance exhausts me. Relax. Every scenario you imagine starts with me caring. I've dogged you since high school only to repay your mother's favor. My 10-year promise to her ends today. After this, we're done. You're sick of me? Good. I'm sick of you and Ivy. Cheating behind my back, freezing me out. What exactly should I adore? I expect him to sign immediately. He's proclaimed his love for Ivy and his boredom with me more than once. Yet each sentence drains more color from his face. Shock, panic, fury. By the end his eyes look ready to devour me. He snatches the papers, rips them to confetti, and stalks out. Long legs, fast stride. I can't catch him, and I don't bother. I text instead. I'll be home. If you're not back in 2 hours, my lawyer files for contested divorce. Whatever damage that causes is on you. Splash his affair with Ivy across the headlines and I come out clean, but as a major Sterling shareholder I'd lose millions. It's one reason I've swallowed their insults for years. I check the time and drive home. An hour later Adrien finally shows. He sits on the sofa, blank-faced, silent. I reprinted the divorce settlement. I hand it over. His expression turns even colder. The pages crumple in his fist. My voice ices over. I'm out of patience. Tear it again and we meet in courtroom 4. He hesitates, then slaps the papers onto the coffee table. I never meant to divorce. A laugh escapes me. I dream about divorce, nightly. It's practically my obsession. His throat works, pupils flickering with restraint. He's used to compliance, my bluntness chafes. He drums the table. Sterling's IPO launch could take 2 or 3 years. A split now would crater valuation. Stay married and I'll gift you 5% of my personal shares. I yawn. Call me when it actually happens. I won't wait that long. You're that desperate to leave? Yes. Something in him cracks. Sorrow and resentment flash across his eyes. Serena, 10 years of friendship, 7 of marriage. You never felt anything? All that devotion was an act. Even hearing it feels jinxed. Adrien, replay the past decade. If our roles were reversed, would you love you? Color drains, then floods his face. He bolts out muttering, I'll have my lawyer review it. If he has an ounce of pride, he'll sign. We met at 18, me the new transfer, him the academic star. He and Ivy, the campus queen, were a legendary couple. Her grades were abysmal, her wallet empty. She wanted to use her face as a springboard to internet fame, and she begged him to tag along. Adrien's father had died young. His mother remarried into money and dumped him on his grandmother. When she passed, he was alone. That loneliness made him latch on to anyone he loved, and at 17 he dropped out to be Ivy's assistant. She ditched him for the platform's biggest spender and laughed at his attempts to win her back. He crawled back to school, grades in free fall, temper explosive. Eleanor asked me to deliver meals daily, make sure he ate, and tutor him back on track. He mocked me more than once, slam-dunking my thermos into the trash. The whole class called me a pathetic groupie, but I trailed him anyway. Junior year, Ivy transitioned from influencer to actress and scored a breakout series. Someone dug up her past romance with Adrien, and netizens roasted him, called a penniless wretch who had no right to reach for a star like her. During those weeks, Adrien sank into gloom. His depression looked ready to swallow him again. Then he decided to storm the entertainment industry, and I became the only artist on his newborn label. To go viral, I chased every trending gimmick and was flamed into a meme. To land one supporting role, I bled wine into a stomach ulcer at dinner after dinner. Luck finally pitted the reckless. I carved out a path with sheer desperation. Adrien confessed, then proposed. His mother feared another depressive spiral if he were turned down and begged me to say yes. I had no one else in my heart, so I agreed. But the day Sterling Holdings rose, Ivy slithered back into Adrien's life, and they picked up exactly where they'd left off. He never once honored the word wife. A man like that, however handsome or rich, could never make me fall. If even a spark dared to flare, he strangled it the next second. The divorce settlement was ruthlessly fair. I assumed Adrien would sign it the moment I slid it across his desk. He did text within 24 hours, only to drag me to the hospital. Eleanor lay in bed, skin stretched over bone, complexion the color of ash. Watching her fade and being able to do nothing twisted my heart until it hurt to breathe. She chatted about the drama I'd headlined, asked after Celia, then finally said, "Serena, I'm terminal stomach cancer, months at most. What terrifies me is leaving Adrien behind. A man with his temperament. Only you could keep him tethered. Will you stay? I repay my debts. Otherwise I wouldn't have trailed Adrien for 10 years. But gratitude isn't idiocy. Mom, how many decades do you think a person gets? However large the debt, I've paid it with my 20s. I'm grateful, and you should learn the word enough. Don't you think?" Eleanor sighed. After a long hush, she spoke, voice complicated. "All these years together. Can't you give him one more chance? I've talked to him. Sterling will cut Ivy loose. She won't shadow your marriage again." I lifted a hand. Mothers always side with their sons. Since we're not on the same page, I'll leave. I'd squared the ledger. The rest of my life belongs to me. I turned on my heel. Adrien, sign or sue, pick one. He chased me out, snatched the settlement, and slashed his name so hard the pen nearly tore the sheet. "Serena, don't come crying later. Not a chance." 1 month, courthouse steps. I reached for the papers. He clutched them, eyes boring into me. "The IPO will multiply our assets tenfold. Yet you bail now. This isn't you. In love with someone else? Riley? That singer Shane." I yanked the folder free. "Who I love is none of your business." If he and Ivy weren't so disgusting, I'd never have walked away from the money. Ignoring his darkened face, I sauntered off humming. Once the ink dried, Adrien and Ivy turned the PDA up to 11. Tonight a birthday supercar, tomorrow multimillion-dollar jewels at auction. Online, fans gushed about Adrien's devotion and Ivy's fairy tale luck. Fine by me, assets split, nothing linking us anymore. Except Adrien the lunatic insisted I attend his deal briefings, drunk or sober. More than once he cornered me in a hotel corridor, slurring, demanding to know whether I'd slept with Julian or Shane and the exact date I'd cheated. Worst of all, paparazzi caught us on camera and splashed the blurry photos across the internet. Ivy's fan army swarmed me. Trying to take advantage of a drunk CEO, shameless fish, have you no face? The boss and Man have a baby on the way and a wedding planned. Fish, scram. Stinking fish, always stealing from Man. Look in a mirror first. Those were the polite ones. The rest decorated every profanity in the dictionary across my ancestors' graves, each pixel an assault. I called Adrien. "In 4 weeks the divorce is final. Flaunt your love after that." The louder they boast, the fouler her fans bile. No one enjoys daily curses. His voice came icy. "We're practically divorced. You have zero say in my dates. But if you're having regrets, we can still cancel, on condition you cut contact with Julian and Shane." I laughed in disbelief. "Adrien, do I look like a doormat to you?" Acting docile too long had convinced him I was tame. I hung up and dialed my publicist. "Press conference, 2 hours. I've had the venue on standby, was waiting for that sentence." She swooped in with glam squad and contracts. I wired her $100 grand for emotional damages. Reporters packed the room, plus hordes of Ivy's supporters chanting slurs. "Homewrecker shameless. CEO loves Man. Who do you think you are?" Security tried to evict them. I raised a hand and smiled. "Me. Just Adrien's lawfully wedded wife, nothing much." I lifted my marriage certificate into the Klieg lights. Silence detonated, shock on every face, including Ivy's minions. "I've invited you journalists to witness this. I married Adrien 7 years ago. He cheated with Ivy for 7. I'm done. Divorce settlement signed, and I'm terminating my contract with Sterling Entertainment. Furthermore, Ivy hired paid trolls to defame me. Netizens have flooded me with libel. My attorneys have compiled the evidence. Every single perpetrator will be served. I nurse small grudges. Whoever trampled me will learn the meaning of payback." The press conference ended, and the internet exploded. OMG, Serena and Adrien are actually married. I've always found Ivy fake. How dare a mistress flip the script and play victim? Adrien scum too, treating his own wife like that. Trash man, trash woman. Every lovey-dovey video and photo Adrien and Ivy had ever posted was now yanked out to rot under the glare of ridicule. One luxury endorsement after another dropped Ivy. Roles she'd already booked announced recasts. Even her Best Actress trophy was retroactively voided by the committee. Word had it unhinged fans were mailing her funeral wreaths and dead rats. All the cyberbullying she once aimed at me was now chewing her up in equal measure. Ivy rang me, shrieking. Running your mouth out there is nuking my market value and wrecking Adrien's rep. There's no way Sterling can IPO now, maybe not even survive. You're a major shareholder. Your own fortune tanks with it. Have you lost your mind? Just a few facts, didn't think that was so unbearable. Tell your Adrien to scrub the trending feed for you. Oh wait, he might be a little busy right now. Vance, see you. I'm not deaf, lower the volume. If you miscarry from rage, don't blame me. I hung up, and within minutes Adrien showed up at the door, face like storm clouds. He stared at me deadpan. Hurt the enemy 1,000, hurt yourself 800. Ever since you fell in love your IQ's dropped? For Julian and Shane you've torched almost 1 billion. Did your brain get chewed up by a dog? I lifted a brow. Looks like the Sterling CEO's intel is rusty. I already dumped my shares. You're the only one bleeding, my hands are clean. 3 days earlier, while he was busy flaunting Ivy around, I'd had Celia sell my stake to the second largest shareholder, Leo Dong. We sisters took different surnames, dads and moms, so nobody connects us. Because my controversy-first fame could hurt the firm, my shares had always sat under Celia's name. Besides Adrien and Ivy, no one knew. As for Leo, he and Ivy were thick as thieves, constantly tripping me up. Zero guilt screwing him over. Adrien's face was pure disbelief. You set me up? Oh, so you can scheme and disgust me, but I can't hit back? Spare me the victim act, it's nauseating. I'd given him and Ivy chance after chance. They kept pushing. The debt of gratitude was paid. I wasn't wasting breath on the brain dead. I kicked him out. When we signed the divorce settlement, I kept this house. But Adrien kept dropping by, annoying, so I moved to a new place. A bunch of close friends carved out time to visit together. You hid a whole marriage from us, impressive. Letting a mistress dance on your head for 7 years. Were you training to be a ninja turtle? Enough gloom, congrats Serena, you're free. They came to celebrate, but I'd just had an abortion. I was sentenced to bland food. They scarfed spicy hot pot in front of me, sworn enemies, every one of them. Oscar-winning Riley's public persona is ice-cold and meticulous. Fans think he's the criminal mastermind he played on screen. In reality, the man's a clueless goof, our favorite chew toy. Shane, born rascal, knows Riley can't hold liquor, yet keeps topping him up. One glass and Riley's flat on my rug, hugging my thigh like a koala. Serena, stop spinning. The room's tilting. Carry me in a game, 10 seasons and I'm still not king. I play dodgy but can't bush camp. They flame me. I can't flame back. He gets so pitiful his eyes glimmer with tears. Shane and the gang are howling. Me. I'm busy saving my pants before he yanks them down. Riley's manager is despair incarnate. 5 assistants aren't enough. If fans ever see this, his ice god brand implodes. Who knew he was such a dork? Exactly. Blame that solemn, gorgeous face for the false advertising. After the chaos they filed out, schedules tighter than mine. Shane whispers on the way. Little sis, I've looked out for you since debut. My bro says if you jump to our label, we'll beat Julian's revenue split by 1%. His big brother owns the company, Shane's ultimate trust fund spawn. I'll think about it. Once they're gone I collapse on the couch and channel surf. For years I'd chased Adrien's dream. I'd forgotten what lazy felt like. Half a month later Sterling's still glued to the trending feed. IPO prospects deep-sixed for years. Honestly a shame, if it had gone public my payout would have fatter. 2 days before the divorce cooling-off period ends, Adrien asks to meet. He's haggard, eyes bruised, cheeks hollow, Rowan territory, thinner than when Ivy dumped him. After a month's rest, are you feeling better? He asks. I sip my tea. You ran into me the day of the abortion and for days after. Never a peep. Concern now feels a little late, don't you think? I really wanted that child. You aborted without even telling me. I can't help being angry. You're hardly short of heirs. Don't act like this one mattered. In our relationship Adrien was always the lofty aggressor. Roles reversed, he frowns, itching to erupt but swallowing it. Awkwardly he adds, the baby Ivy's carrying isn't mine. I've never touched her. I admired my fresh manicure and answered lazily. I know. She humiliated you so many times. There's no way you could accept her without resentment. You enjoy watching her rack her brains trying to please you. That's exactly why you signed her in the first place. Of course, you also strung her along with empty promises, coaxing her to trade her body for favors from those big shots, so Sterling could rake in resources. You plan to squeeze her dry, then leak everything she's done and plunge her to rock bottom. That's your revenge. And you let her milk your name for hype and even turned a blind eye when she bullied me, all because you'd heard the rumors about Shane and Julian. You decided I'd cuckolded you, and you couldn't swallow that insult, so you used her to pay me back. Besides, Sterling hasn't needed my paycheck for ages. You can ride those gossip waves to force me out of the spotlight. That way I never have to touch another man, and you finally feel safe. Am I right, Adrien? After all these years, I know exactly what he is. Every big break he ever got, Ivy bought with her body. So when Julian and Shane handed me opportunities, he naturally assumed I'd sold myself too. What he doesn't know is that they're not the only ones. Plenty of A-list actresses and female execs send me scripts and contracts as well because they see the value in me. Unlike him, they know a woman is worth more than her skin. Adrien's expression shifted several times as he listened. Finally he rasped, "If you understand all that, there's no need for divorce. I never cheated, and I never wanted to split." I rolled my eyes. "Don't tell me you think infidelity is the only reason people divorce." Adrien said stiffly, "I won't let anyone walk over you again, but you have to keep your distance from other men. No more intimate scenes. If you've got other conditions, we can talk." I refused without hesitation. "Forget it. A rich, gorgeous woman with a brain can live any happy life she wants. I don't have to play house with someone I loathe. Adrien, the day after tomorrow we pick up the divorce certificate. Be there. Otherwise, if the story about you pimping Ivy hits the feeds, it'll hurt Sterling a lot more, don't you think?" Adrien's face turned ash-gray. I savored his reaction, then sauntered away. 2 days later, I walked out with the divorce papers in hand and terminated my contract with Sterling. When I'd first signed, I'd set the exit penalty at 10 grand. Adrien had been so sure I'd never leave him that he hadn't batted an eye. Now it was too late for regrets. I sued Ivy, the paid trolls, and the netizens behind the worst slander, pocketed $3 million in damages, and donated every cent to charity, earning a wave of goodwill. After weighing my options, I joined Julian's boutique studio. Shane blew a fuse. "Julian, you scheming diva. You lured Serena in with only a 20% overhead cut and got your uncle to manage her portfolio. Everyone thinks you're clueless. What a scam." He ranted to Julian's face, then kept grumbling wherever he went. Even on a variety show, he griped straight to the camera. The show's director, loving the drama, invited Julian and me on as surprise guests. On camera, the host asked, "Riley, Shane's been calling you a schemer. Any response?" Julian stayed ice cool. "He lost the bidding war, so I'm generous enough to let him vent. Wouldn't want him green-eyed and rabid." Shane nearly unfriended him on the spot. I bought him 2 extra sweet bubble teas and promised to sneak him Julian's sister's contact. That finally calmed him down. Yes, poster boy Shane plays the reckless heartthrob in public, but worships from afar in private. He's been quietly crushing on Julian's little sister for almost 3 years. Too shy even to ask for her number. One look at her and he blushes mute. Whether Julian is genuinely dense or all these years he's never once let Shane be alone with her. Once I'd recharged, I stepped onto the set of Setting Sail. A year later, I hoisted the Best Actress trophy. Without the homewrecker label and with the studio's muscle, I landed 3 top-tier luxury endorsements. A Hollywood sci-fi franchise director even floated my name for his next leading lady. My star kept rising. Adrien and Ivy, meanwhile, crashed hard. In barely a year, Ivy slipped into obscurity, reduced to supporting roles in web dramas. Sterling lost its cash cow and its reputation, and Adrien's once swaggering IPO launch stalled. Just treading water became a struggle. Not wanting to be outshone by his ex-wife, he cut corners and pimped out newer starlets for resources. The roster ballooned, revenue flatlined, and the industry dubbed the company a gutter tabloid outfit. The night I won Best Actress, I ran into Adrien outside my building, or rather, he'd waited to corner me. He reeked of whiskey, every inch the wreck. "Serena, this year I've thought it through. I love you, I just loved you wrong. I was never taught how. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I really regret it." The man who'd never bowed now lowered his head before me, eyes shining with pleading. "We had 10 years. Can't I have one more chance?" I handed him a tissue, pitying but unmoved. "Go home, it's cold." Then I walked inside with my assistant, laughter echoing as I shut the door on him. No excuse justifies hurting someone. He isn't sorry he's beaten. Had Sterling gone public and soared, he'd sneer at my short-sightedness. I'd be a footnote, same as Ivy. Luckily, I never bank on anyone but myself. I'm my own safe bet. Thanks for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with friends. We look forward to your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time.